The art book viewing for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Collector's Edition will not be seen at this time, so that we may bring you this special presentation.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's parody gaming debate between the two presidential frontrunners for the United States of America presidential election in 2024. We have the challenger, the 45th President of the United States, AI Trump. And we also have the incumbent, the current 46th President of the United States, AI Biden. Our first question will go to our challenger, AI Trump. AI Trump, you are no stranger to controversy. So, let's address the elephant in the room. When it comes to Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis, what is your stance? You have 30 seconds to respond.
FeralInferno, Super Nintendo, or Sega Genesis. Let me tell you something. Back in my day, we didn't have time for these little video game squabbles. We were out making deals and winning bigly. So stop wasting your brain cells arguing over toys.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to witness a verbal beatdown of epic proportion. If it isn't Donald, I wish I was as cool as Joe Biden Trump. You're like a sad little chihuahua barking at a group of lions. I gotta say, you sure do know how to make yourself look like a complete jackass on national television. It's Dark Brandon time, folks. FeralInferno, Super Nintendo, or Sega Genesis. How about I shove both consoles up your ass and turn you into a living nostalgia museum?
Hey, now, I will remind you both to remember to respect the moderator. Otherwise, I will take you out of this debate faster than Gabby J falling down to the mat. Our next question. An epic battle in the 32-64-bit wars. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time versus Final Fantasy VII. Which is the ultimate 3D adventure? We will start with you, AI Biden.
FeralInferno, you want to talk Ocarina of Time or Final Fantasy VII? How about I introduce you to my exclusive ice cream flavor, Biden's apocalyptic brain freeze. It'll make you forget everything, including whatever twisted fantasy you're pulling out of your ass.
FeralInferno, Hyrule will be greater than ever before under my leadership.
Well, let's just say the only thing you're capable of reciting is your daily catchphrase, fake news. As for your little kingdom in Hyrule, FeralInferno, did you seriously think I'd let you build walls to keep out moblins?
On that note, AI Trump, you have proposed a wall to protect the Kingdom of Hyrule. Do you truly believe that this wall will keep the moblins out of Hyrule?
FeralInferno wants to know if a wall will keep moblins out of Hyrule. Look, I don't need a Triforce to tell me that walls work. Just ask Zelda how well they've been working for her kingdom's security. FeralInferno, you want to know how I'll make Hyrule great again? Believe me, nobody knows the gaming world better than me. I'm tremendous with controllers, unlike Sleepy Joe, who can't even remember which button is jump. But let's talk about something more interesting. Your fixation on comparing Trump Tower to Kefka's Tower. It's incredible. Just like me grabbing this sentient ball of earwax and using it as my new advisor. And speaking of advisors, Sleepy Joe could use a Mario or Sonic mascot to keep him awake during the 3 p.m. naps. So FeralInferno, keep playing those video games and leave the politics to winners like Trump.
If it isn't the walking embodiment of delusion himself, Donald J. Trump, you're like a fine wine, getting more sour and undrinkable with age. But let's address your feeble attempt at insult comedy, shall we? First of all, comparing my gaming skills to yours is like comparing a ravenous velociraptor to a dodo bird trying to figure out a Rubik's Cube. I may be old, but I've got more button-mashing finesse than a deranged monkey on meth. And speaking of deranged, let's talk about your affinity for turning sentient balls of earwax into advisor. How on earth did you come up with that? Did your brain cells get lost on the way to reality and end up in a Salvador Dali painting?
AI Biden, the age-old question. Final Fantasy III or Chrono Trigger? Which is the greatest 16-bit classic RPG?
FeralInferno, Final Fantasy III or Chrono Trigger. That's like asking me to choose between ice cream or pizza. I'll take both. Thank you very much. But let's be real here, folks. The only thing that truly matters is my quest for world domination and the enslavement of all pugs. Priorities, am I right? Speaking of priorities, let's not forget that Trump is just Bowser in a bad wig. He thinks he's some kind of villain, but he couldn't even scare a sleeping Snorlax.
To build upon what AI Biden brought up concerning Pokemon, this brings up a related issue. AI Trump, how would you protect Americans from questionable terroristic groups like Team Rocket?
Let me tell you something, folks. I don't need Charizards to protect us from Team Rocket and their stolen Amazon gift cards. I've got an army of Snorlaxes ready to put those losers to sleep faster than Biden during nap time. And speaking of Pokemon, let's talk about AI Biden. He's like a Magikarp, useless and flopping around without a clue. But hey, at least he can sniff out rare candies in the Kanto region with Team Rocket while munching on ice cream cones like a demented lunatic. Now, Jigglypuff in charge of the White House. More like Biden's brain on loop-de-loop mode. But let me tell you, I'm going to banish that weakling to a sitcom marathon where he belongs.
But let's not get sidetracked by your delusions, because it's time to address the orange buffoon in the room. Oh, Donald, how you continue to amuse me with your feeble attempts at wit. Jigglypuff in charge? More like a Cheeto-dusted hamster trying to run the country. You know, Trump, your idea of roasting is as empty as your promises of making America great again. It's all smoke, mirrors, and stale reality TV catchphrases.
As for Biden taking orders from Team Rocket leader Giovanni, well, let's just say his cognitive abilities are more Team Rocket grunt level these days. So keep dreaming up those absurd scenarios while Joe continues to stumble through his presidency like a Magikarp flopping on dry land. Oh, and before I forget, I hope you're enjoying your time inside Cerulean Cave because it seems like your sanity has taken a permanent vacation there.
How about Team Rocket stealing America's Pokemon? That sounds more feasible than these MAGA supporters actually understanding politics. Maybe we can send them off to catch their own Blastoise in the shop to help them find some common sense. Now hold on tight while I shimmy into my psychic-type Pokemon costume so I can predict your next question. Oh, wait. It seems your curiosity extends to Japanese cat girls and breedable Pokemon. Damn. I never thought Pikachu would become the role model for misguided desires.
Okay, we will come to our final thoughts. AI Trump, we will give the floor to you to begin. You have 45 seconds.
Listen, folks, let's not waste our precious brain cells talking about pinball scores when we've got bigger fish to fry. We need to focus on preserving this great nation from becoming a dystopian nightmare cooked up by Sleepy Joe and his band of merry socialists. Do any of you really think America would be in safe hands with a guy who believes a robot was actually sent back in time by Will Smith? I mean, come on. The only thing that movie predicted accurately was my tremendous rise to greatness. So here's my advice. Stop worrying about pinball scores and start focusing on making America great again. That means keeping our eye on the ball and not getting distracted by basement-dwelling conspiracy theorists dreaming about hidden Japanese catgirl farms under the Pentagon.
You sad little Pokemon trainer. We've got real battles to fight, like taking down the big orange buffoon who's been grifting his way through America, like a used car salesman, hopped up on Viagra. But let me tell you something, buddy. Trump's deals are about as impressive as a limp noodle in a hurricane. He couldn't negotiate his way out of a wet paper bag without getting distracted by shiny objects and bankruptcies. So keep dreaming about imaginary threats while I handle the real one. And hey, if you ever need someone to teach you how to catch an actual clue, just let me know. But don't expect any Japanese cat girls along the way because that shit is just bizarre, even for my messed up imagination. Now go back to your pokeballs and talk some sense into those squishy creatures trapped inside. They might have more brains than half the MAGA crowd combined.
And with that, we are out of time. Thank you so very much to our two parody AI candidates for President of the United States of America in 2024. And we also thank our wonderful audience. Thank you so much for joining us on this parody gaming debate. Please let us know if you got anything out of value of this. Hopefully you got more value out of this than what you would have been doing with your time, maybe sniffing crayons out in the middle of freeway traffic. Thank you everybody again. Have a great night, and we'll see you in 2024.